guys, it's Nicole and welcome back to our January Q&A. So this is part 2 of this Q&A, so make sure if you haven't seen part 1, you go watch part 1. Part 1 has the first few questions that we received in it, so if you asked a question and you don't see it in this video, it's probably in part 1. So before I jump into this Q&A, I kind of want to refer back to part 1 of this Q&A. I just want to kind of address something that I noticed in the comments of part 1. And a lot of you guys are concerned about what I said about us trying to conceive or trying to have another baby. And I feel like a lot of you guys are misunderstanding the situation when it comes to us trying to have another baby. So first off, before I even explain anything or kind of like try to explain myself a little bit more, I want to thank you guys for the way you worded your question. So a lot of people were concerned that we are not financially stable to have another baby, and yes, I just want to say first of all that I'm very appreciative of you guys for the way you worded your comments, because they could have come off a little bit overwhelming, you know, just because of the amount of comments I received about it. And all of you guys were so polite and so I don't know how to word it, but you know, I want to thank you guys for the way you guys worded your comments, and none of you guys came off rude or, you know, offensive in any way. So I want to thank you guys for that. So now I'm going to kind of explain myself a little bit for you guys. So when I was talking about baby number 2, first of all, we're not trying to have a baby right now. We're not even like, that's not even a thing right now. I do have baby fever. I have had baby fever, and when I said that if things went the way we planned them to, I would be pregnant right now, that's just something that, like, if everything was perfect, if this world was perfect, then I would be pregnant right now. Basically, the deal with baby number 2 and trying to conceive baby number 2, these are the things that I want to make sure are in place before trying to have a baby, just so that you guys know and so that you guys are a little bit more clear on what's going on with that. Baby number 2, we're not going to be trying to have a baby until after I have my Implanon removed. Right now I still do have the Implanon, and it's been expired for like 3 or 4 months, and almost 4 months. So I absolutely need to have this removed before trying to have a baby, and I'm also, you know, gonna make sure that we're financially stable before trying to have a baby. Budgeting and seeing what all of our expenses are, and then, like, you know, budgeting and seeing what expenses would be after having a baby. I'm not, like, just because I have baby fever and just because I want to try to have a baby doesn't mean that, you know, I'm just going to go off and get pregnant just because I want to be pregnant. You know? Also, something that you guys don't know is, yes, Sean lost his job. I also just received a very, very generous raise at my work, so I make pretty good money. Even with Sean losing his job, our house, you know, is not the cheapest for rent, and what I'm trying to say really is I make enough money to support us. You know, I'm not struggling financially at all. I do make plenty of money. I'm not gonna say exactly how much money I make, because I don't want one of my coworkers to stumble across this video and, you know, see me talking about my wage, but we're not struggling, you know. I definitely make enough money for the both of us, and once Sean does find another job, that's just gonna be adding on to the amount that I already make. But either way, I kind of just wanted to put this out there to, like, let you guys know and reassure you guys really that I'm not silly, I'm not stupid, you know, I'm not gonna go and get myself pregnant or try to have a baby when we're not ready. Just trust in me and know that, you know, we are aware that we live in the real world and not a delusional land. So we will definitely make sure that we are financially stable before having a baby. And nobody ever plans to be evicted. Nobody ever plans for, you know, life crises like the one we had previously. But we're prepared to deal with those as they come. So again, I just want to put out there that I really appreciate the way you guys worded your comments, because like I said, I did get a whole butt ton of comments about, you know, people being concerned about us trying to have another baby and not being financially stable, and people thinking that we shouldn't try to have a baby right now. And I totally agree with you. We are definitely not trying to have a baby right now. When that happens, then I am going to be doing trying to conceive videos when I am trying to conceive. Moving on to part 2, and actually moving on with this, I'm going to start answering the rest of your guys' questions now. Michelle Kirk would like to know, baby number 2, and are you both going to get engaged? And I did already answer this question in part 1. I just wanted to acknowledge everybody who asked a question. So Michelle Kirk, I did answer that question in part 1. So make sure you go watch that video. Tamara McIntyre, and sorry if I say your name wrong, would like to know, did Zach or Cody move in house, and how has it been since you guys got the new house? I'm so glad you guys are back and need watching you. I think she meant to say, I'm so glad you guys are back and I've been watching you since she was just a little baby. Love you guys, and how do you guys keep so strong? First of all, thank you so much. I really appreciate those comments. I love hearing about how long you guys have been watching us, and I just really appreciate it. So thank you, Tamara. No, Zach and Cody do not live with us. Cody is completely like dead to us. Yeah, Cody is not even a part of our lives anymore. And no, Zach does not live with us. I kind of already answered that in the last video too, that Zach is living in the RV park that we lived in when we first moved to Oregon. It's been awesome since we got the new house. A lot of you guys might think that I'm discouraged about, you know, the cosmetic issues with the house. Like if you can see, like this wallpaper is ripping off, and then our floors are kind of messed up, you know. But when we moved into this house, the landlord warned us about the cosmetic issues and told us that, you know, if she was planning on getting those things fixed. Since she didn't, that's why our rent is a little bit lower. She also didn't charge us a pet deposit or a cleaning deposit because of the condition of the house. So but she is giving us free reign to kind of paint the walls and, you know, home it up a bit. So I don't look at those things as like negative things. I kind of use them to inspire me to like make this house into our perfect cozy home. But I love this house, but especially since if you guys remember our 4th of July video from last year, our house is literally right behind that place. So for 4th of July, we can literally sit in our front yard and not have to go to that big old, you know, area where we were. Like, I wish I could insert a clip of, like, I don't know, if I can figure it out with my editor and editing on my phone and all that, then I'll insert a clip of 4th of July from last year. But yeah, we literally live right outside where they do, like, right next to the field that they put the fireworks off. So we can sit outside in our front yard and watch the fireworks show for free. And how do you guys keep so strong? I also answered this question in part 1, but just kind of like a little brief summary. We just choose positivity, and, you know, we always look at everything as like a learning lesson. So that's kind of like a brief answer to that, but I did answer this question in the previous vlog, or the previous Q&A, part 1. Nicole Valenzuela would like to know, you and Sean seem so in love. Will there be an engagement anytime soon or wedding? Not anytime soon. I did also answer this question in part 1, so go ahead and check out part 1 for the answer to that question. I think that one is like the last question I answered in part 1. So part 1 was like a 20-minute video, so it's like one of the last questions, just so you guys know if you wanted to know the answer to that. Shannon Amara Padelford would like to know, one of the most craziest things you ever done. Are you guys ever going to move back to your home state? Sorry, I can't think of it at the moment. Or are you guys finding better opportunities where you are? How are things going with Maggie, and will she ever be able to come live with you guys? Okay, so one of the most craziest things I've ever done. I could probably do a story time video about this, but when I was a teenager, I ran away from home 2 or 3 times, and it earned me the nickname Runaway, and that is definitely not something I'm proud of at all. It was, you know, if I could go back and beat the living shit out of my teenage self, I absolutely would. If I had probably 3 wishes from a genie, that's probably one of the things I would wish for, is to go back and beat the crap out of my teenage self. But definitely running away as a teenager and just getting myself into some of the sticky situations I did. I think I was like 14 or 15. I ran away from home, and I was a runaway with 3 to 5 male high schoolers that I went to school with and didn't go to school with. Like, some of them I knew, some of them I didn't know. My picture was all over Reno, Nevada, and people thought that, people would mistake my twin sister as me and then try and, like, you know, corner her thinking that she was the runaway. And, you know, she's like, no, that's my twin, that's my twin. And then they'd call the cops and call my mom, and my mom would show up and be like, this is my other twin, like, this is my other daughter that's not missing. I'm missing another girl. Like, if you guys want to hear story times about my runaway events, then I'll definitely do a video about that, but only if you guys want to hear about it, because if not, I'm not going to take the time to tell you guys those stories, because they were kind of traumatizing. No, we are never going to move back to Idaho. There's been many times since we've been in Oregon that I've wanted to go back to Idaho, but it was only because I wanted to go back home to my mom. The minimum wage is just ridiculously low. There's just nothing really going for us there. When I think about all of the benefits of Oregon, which is kind of moving on to the next question of does Oregon have better opportunities? Yes, Oregon has so many better opportunities for us, and those opportunities are, number one, the minimum wage is $10 an hour here, whereas the minimum wage in Idaho is $7.25. And I've also noticed that the cost of living is not that ridiculously high, because usually you face that problem where, you know, the wage is higher, but then so is the cost of living. I feel like the cost of living is the same as it is in Idaho. Also, there's no sales tax, no property tax. What?
Is there any poop on my butt? I just go potty.
Hold on, look at her hair. You look so silly, oh my god. You're so cute. I bought that ribbon for her before she was born. That was supposed to go on her when she was a newborn baby, and it hasn't fit her until now. And she's 4 years old now. And it looks cute on you. You're so adorable. How are things going with Maggie? Okay, so I get this question all the time, not from just you guys, but my coworkers, my bosses, because Maggie is supposed to be coming to live with us. If you haven't watched our house tour, then you probably don't know, but this room over here, that is going to be Maggie's bedroom. And that's our spare bedroom. It literally has nothing in it except for a mattress and a couple, like, things that we don't have room for, or we haven't, like, organized. Ow, you're pulling my hair, dude. Maggie.
My name's Olivia.
You're so freaking silly. Okay, you gotta be quiet, okay? I'm almost done with the video. I'm almost done.
I'm just gonna stay right here.
Okay, can I? Okay, alright. Thank you. Let me talk, and then I'll give you a chance, okay?
Mommy.
What?
There's a square on my face.
Is there a square on your face? There's a square on Mommy's face, too. It's because the camera sees that we are people, and that's our heads. Isn't that cool? Technology.
I'm weird.
Yes, Maggie is my twin sister, and she lives in Idaho at this point. And last year, she was supposed to move to Oregon with us, but we ended up getting kicked out of my mom's house and having to move to Oregon sooner than expected. And Maggie was having a rough time with this, and not using that as an excuse for her, but either way, last year she was sent to prison and was in prison for almost a year, and it was for using meth, and she was selling meth as well. But she was released from prison in September of 2016, and hey, you need to be nice to the dogs, please. Please. But yes, after she was released in September, she's done nothing but move forward. She's stayed clean, she's gotten a job, all that. So we're in the process of getting her probation moved from Idaho to Oregon. So that's kind of where we are right now, is we're waiting on approval and disapproval of her transfer of probation from Idaho to Oregon. And that is the remainder of all the questions. Okay, I'm sorry that most of the questions in this part 2 video were mainly answered in part 1, but I did want to make a part 2 to this video just to acknowledge everyone who answered a question. And then after seeing the comments in part 1 of like everybody who was concerned about us trying to have a baby, I just wanted to make this part 2 to really just clear the air and answer all of your guys' questions. So I hope you guys feel a little bit better about the trying to conceive thing. If not, I'm sorry. Just know and trust in us that we are not going to be making any rash decisions or any crazy decisions, and we are perfectly aware that we're not the most financially stable people at all times, but I mean, what young couple is? Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you made it all the way through and you watched part 1 and part 2, thank you so much. You guys are real, true supporters. Thank you. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe as well so that you can keep up with our family and our videos. And
I'm your family.
yes, this will be your family if you subscribe. Our precious little Aaliyah Ray.